Hey YouTubers, it's Valerie Reified. How y'all doing? And other, general ways that I say hi. Been a pretty busy week, hasn't it? For trans news in general. The trans rights bill that caused great furor and division actually in the LGBT community in Maryland because it didn't include public accommodations was defeated. There was a trans workplace protections bill that made it all the way through Hawaii. It's just got to be signed by the governor now. And also there was a trans workplace protection bill that made it through Nevada's lower chamber. And there's a Texas state senator who wants to ban trans marriage. Well, okay, he wants gender assigned at birth to be the only criterion when determining marriage. And the governor, of course, is at least making noises that he's supportive of it. Pretty interesting process stories. Oh, yeah, and speaking of Maryland, Chrissy Lee Pullis was beaten halfway to death by a couple of cis women for daring to use the washroom, a public accommodation, which makes one wonder why the protections based on gender identity, including washrooms, weren't required in ENDA. Now, that was an amendment that was sort of done very quietly by Representative Barney Frank. So there's all of these really, really interesting news stories, and I was really looking forward to see Rachel Maddow talk about any of them. Okay, when I say looking forward to, I mean not expecting that in any way she would. See, this is the thing. Rachel Maddow has a lot of cred as a queer-friendly newscaster. She's openly lesbian. She's on a left-leaning network that is probably was one of the most pro-repeal networks when it came to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But there's an interesting thing. Whenever the story jumps to trans issues, she gets quiet. Now, I will say there is one small caveat. The Amanda Simpson hiring by the White House. But there is one little hitch there. The White House had just lost a couple of fairly high-profile staffers, and it was turning out to be rather damaging for the Obama administration to continue to lose key staffers that it was appointing. So, really, the only time Rachel Maddow has had anything to say about trans people in the United States in the last 3 years has been when it keeps Barack Obama from losing face. Hi Morgan. My girlfriend is ruining the shot right now, but that's not a big deal. So yeah, Rachel, you are not what a lot of people think you are and what you are allowing people to think you are. And your silence on the issue is sort of damning. It's not the same as being virulently anti-trans, but you know what? These are important issues. They affect, at minimum, 1 million Americans, if not, 6 or 7, depending on whose demographic data you believe. So, yeah, this is actually an issue. And your refusal to cover it speaks volumes. About as much as this does.